Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. If you're looking for movies, we can tell you where there is a palace in the prairie. It's the Palace Theater. I'm Brett.
And I am Harley.
So, we like movies. We can spin a yarn or two about movies, movie experiences, top 5 this, top 10 that.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
Right.
When it comes to devising ridiculous ways to talk about movies,
yeah,
you are the king. So, what is the Mount Rushmore of your horror scenes? Like
what? There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a fair question.
First impact. Which one impacted you the most?
What?
Like not like the scary person Mount Rushmore, which would make sense since it's a mountain of heads.
But that's been done.
But you're like, what's the scene that tells the story or scared you the most? And like, how's that about Mount Rushmore of?
I understand it. Okay, maybe it's not a fair comparison. Heads
You're
versus
ridiculous.
Right. I think it's something that's not talked about enough. I'm in a couple of horror groups, and somebody posted a question, post a still of the thing on the movie that you watched that made the most impact and scared you the most. So I thought, there is one, but there's probably more than one. I think there's a fair assumption the thing that ushered you in is the thing that scared you the most. Right or wrong?
I think that's wrong.
Why?
Because the fact that the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, is a scary movie was not why I liked it.
Why did you like it?
Dude, the suspense, character development.
Well, there was a lot of that, too.
It wasn't the primary reason that I liked that movie is not because there were scary parts.
It was the protagonist, not the antagonist. You liked the characters. Because there were. They all had a certain, the thing that they brought to the thing. It's hard. It's unavoidable. You can't avoid that trope. Saying the thing that you know what I mean. I'm just saying. I think when I look back at movies, where were you when you saw the part? I can't say the thing. When you saw the part that you're like, ooh, the pool scene in Poltergeist was the scariest part of that movie for me.
See, I got to go with the clown.
Really?
Not
me.
But, so really though, the reason that we're having this discussion is because as it stands right now,
movies are hard to come by.
Movies
in the wild, if you will.
Outside of your living room,
right,
are hard to come by.
They are. And to be fair, that's the best way to watch it. You know, I just can't get into it as much at home. You know, it's like you can push pause.
Okay, yeah, that's my biggest issue. People say it's the screen size. You know, like, oh, I've got to have that giant screen size. Isn't it for me? Really, it's if I leave, I'm going to miss something important.
Right. Absolutely.
That is the cool thing about a theater. Literally, I've sat through movies where 10 minutes in, I was like, I got to pee. And I held it.
Right. And you didn't know what happened unless you were with somebody that was willing to tell you after the movie the thing that you missed. And before the internet, you didn't know until it came out on videotape what you missed. There wasn't social media. You know what I mean? There wasn't spoiler warnings everywhere. We could tear movies apart piece by piece, thing by thing, all day long.
Right.
But we're not going to do that. We're going to take you to the movies. So I was scrubbing the internet for fake news. Just kidding. No, I was looking for customizable apparel. I like to wear hats. I like to wear shirts. We all know I have amassed quite a collection of both, but there's a lot of fly-by-night, El Cheapo t-shirt companies out there, and it doesn't do it for me.
12 t-shirts for $12.
For $12, free shipping if you spend over $100. Like, wait a second, I thought it was 12 t-shirts for $12. Now it's $120 for 12 t-shirts. That's why I like Master Threads. Master Threads, custom designs, high quality, quick turnaround, a professional website that wasn't made on the cheapest program you can get.
And you can get a free quote that includes shipping and any additional charges for any changes that you want to have to the product.
Right.
As opposed to being surprised, going through all of the process of designing whatever you're trying to do, and then get to the checkout portion and realize that there's an additional 28% for some random bull crap because they didn't charge enough for the product in the first place.
And I'm going to say it. It's not played out, but they are local. I like that they are a homegrown company, family owned and operated. It's a mom and pop shop that doesn't have the mom and pop ops. They've got a professional website, easy to navigate, tons of choices. If you're looking for new apparel, it's just sports is just right around the corner. Or if you need some family reunion T-shirts, whatever you've got, Master Threads will take care of you. Give them a call, 405-673-3787, or you can find them on the web
at masterthreads.us. So it is no secret that we're fans of the movies.
Of the movies, yes.
It is also no secret that I am already a fan of Duncan, Oklahoma, and you're rapidly becoming a fan of Duncan, Oklahoma.
I love Duncan, Oklahoma. There are a lot of things I didn't know about Duncan, Oklahoma that I've learned since becoming a professional podcast host of a local podcast.
Not only do they have a movie theater,
yes,
they actually have 2 movie theaters that are in operation right now. The one we're talking about today is the Palace Theater. I gotta say, unless I'm going to see something in IMAX, you're gonna have to work really hard to convince me to go to a theater other than the Palace Theater on Main Street in Duncan, Oklahoma.
The reality of the situation is there are theaters that have way more money to put into their facility. Matter of fact, there's one around the corner from me that's closed. All the big ones are closed.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the feel of this place. You walk in to your Walmart
Cineplex
of movie theaters, and you're guaranteed that it's staffed by snot-nosed little twerps
that get all the free posters. Yeah.
that don't really have the time of day for you.
Right.
And don't really care.
Right.
If you get something or you don't get something, or if you're having a good time. They honestly have no investment at all. But you walk into the Palace Theater on Main Street in Duncan, Oklahoma, and every single person there is thrilled that you have come to their movie theater. The pride, just the pride from the guy behind the counter at the candy stand. Like, dude.
Well, to be honest, I like that there's a personal touch about having the smaller theaters. That, like you said, there's a huge disconnect between you and I frequent a small little theater in Packingtown in Oklahoma City called the Rodeo Cinema, and it feels that way too. It's a real personal touch. Everything's 1-to-1, whereas your big cineplexes are like, they could care less whether or not you wanted extra butter or a little bit of butter. If you ask for extra butter in a place like Palace Theater, they're going to drench it in it just because that's the character of the operation.
But there's so many small touches just in the lobby of this place. They were required to upgrade some of their equipment to keep up with the movies that are coming out of Hollywood now. So their old projector is on display in the lobby.
Yeah.
Dude, just the general feel. All of the fixtures in the building are the 1940s era copper or brass plates.
Right.
Like, you can just tell the history of the building just based on
just that postmodern feel with that patina. And,
yes.
And even the smell, I hate to say it, like, I'm a senses person. I hear, see, but I want to kind of have that aroma. You walk into a big theater, you don't smell the popcorn. You can barely hear it over the 500 people waiting in line. I want to walk in and hear the pop of the popcorn and the smell, and you know what I mean? All those sounds and things that kind of inhibit the golden age of cinema without sounding too, it almost sounds like a trope, but
I think anybody of our age remembers going to the movie theaters when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And like mom and dad dropping you off in front of the theater.
Oh yeah, you felt
for
like
the first time.
Yeah, you thought you were big. Yeah,
you had enough money to buy your popcorn and your drink, and you go in and you're just jumping out of your skin.
Wait, the preview before the preview.
Yeah, exactly. The preview pops up, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a instantaneous flashback to that time when you first come into this place.
What I like is and I still do when I go into the smaller theater, when you can kind of they dim the lights so slow that it's almost you don't notice it, but then there's like this, here it comes. And I used to go to a theater that had this roller, before it did the previews, it was brought to you by the theater, and then it was sponsored by Coke, but it was a roller coaster,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, you knew at the end of it, it would go, you'd hear that crackle, like it was switching
to
the
Windsor Theater?
Yes. Yeah. It was our let's go out to the movies thing. And you knew right after that, here come the previews. There was some magic to that because you didn't have, I've already saw, it wasn't an old hat. Everything was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
That's what what I love is that these small theaters are still, they're not making millions of dollars.
No, absolutely not. And the owners, Stephen and Haley Root, they bought the theater in 2006. They had some additional goals in mind
mm-hmm.
when they made the purchase.
Yeah.
Some additional renovations to the upstairs, that sort of thing. And a lot of that hasn't come to fruition yet.
Right.
But I've got faith just based on what they've done so far.
Well, and you've been to a couple of movies there, have you not?
I've been to more than a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A handful, probably.
Been to a handful of movies there, yeah.
Well, and it's, especially if you're in that, I don't know, man. I just feel like there are options out there still. Unfortunately, I live in an area where we're dominated by the big, it's AMC, it's Regal. So there's not a lot of options close by.
Anyway, back to the owners. They made the purchase of the theater basically to preserve the history of the place, which I think is awesome.
There's so many places that you see, and I'm okay with it. We've talked to some communities across Oklahoma that they've turned their what was a movie theater into at least a performing arts location. But man, I like the let's go downtown feel. Like if I lived in a community that had what Duncan's got, they've got Viridian Coffee, they've got the Palace Theater, they've done a lot. I mean, we walk down on a Sunday, which is probably the best time to really kind of take a look at things. Obviously, you want to see them open, but when our generations before, going downtown was the thing to do. You did all your shopping. Dad went to the hardware store. Mom went to the thing over here. We went to the movies down. Everything was downtown.
Yeah, and instead of in a strip mall 2 miles outside of town.
2 miles outside of town, or you had to really... that's what I like about these type of situations where we all go downtown, we go watch a movie, and we just walk around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's... I don't know. I think I'm just disinterested with 2020. 2021 has been kind of a wash in terms of entertainment. And I think it's cheap entertainment. What's it cost you?
Dude, it is super cheap. Me and the whole brood went, and tickets were under $30 for all of us. I don't know what the per ticket price is, but it's got to be super low. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $5, give or take.
Well, that's an absolute steal. And I think what you're saying, Tuesdays is like $3.50.
They are open all week long. They have a showing at 4 and another showing at 7 approximately. Mm-hmm. Those times can adjust slightly just based on the length of the movie.
Right.
They don't play R-rated movies unless I believe the R is for action related only.
Okay. I get it. I'm there.
It's super family friendly. Yeah. They've got cartoons that they show a lot of times on the weekends for kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a great place for Duncan. But if you're anywhere near there and you've been hankering to see a movie, I don't see a reason why you don't make the trip.
Well, the other thing too is I was kind of doing some research. They've given you almost every single option. You can have parties there, events there, I mean, the prices aren't astronomical.
No, the prices are ridiculously good. If you want to have an event at the Palace Theater in Duncan, again, I don't know if the prices online are 100% up to date, but basically I think it's about $100 for an event for 10 people. That includes movie, popcorn, and a drink. So you're not going to find that deal.
Well, and for $50 or $150, you not only get the theater, but you get access to the adjoining restaurant as well.
Right. But I think the coolest thing, $25, they'll put your message up on the marquee.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I would have had a heart attack if I went to a movie theater when I was a kid and it had my name on the marquee.
And it said, "Hey, Harley. Harley and the Hendersons on there."
Seriously, I would have lost my... Dude, it would have been the best day ever.
Yeah. A cheap night at the movies is hard to come by, especially for you. You've got a small... It's like the Ronald McDonald House around here. You got a small orphanage that you're operating. That's a cheap night. When's the last time? Be honest. Before you started going to Duncan, what was a night at the movies?
Ooh.
If you could go all together without it breaking the bank.
Over 100.
Yeah. I mean, that's because you get in there, you got to get the big drinks, and we're not thirsty halfway through. Or if we need a refill, we get a free refill of the lark. Then you got to get the popcorn, or you got to get the kids' meal. Plus the adults want to share a blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get in and out for $30. Not a chance. Maybe on tickets? No, not even tickets.
No, not even tickets.
Golly, there's no way. Absolutely no way. And they do show new movies. I did notice they pair up a new movie, and then they have like an older movie, like a cartoon or something like that. I'm okay with the theater only playing one movie. I really am.
Me too, yeah.
And I don't mind if it's something I'm not dead set on. If I'm not paying $100 to go to the movie, I'll go sit through a movie that maybe I'm on the fence about for $3.50.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've done some crappy matinee movies because it was cheap.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking for a good time at the movies on the cheap, you can definitely check them out. Check out their rates. Set up an event, a birthday party, whatever. Check them out at thepalaceduncan.com. Hit them up on their movie line. They have a movie line? That's so cool. That's awesome. 580-255-5588. As always, it is the Only an OK Show. Tell your friends, tell your family. We will not be silenced. This is Brett.
And I'm Harley, and we're out of here.
Peace. The internet.
Obnoxious, friendly. I don't know.
I mean, we went there the day that it was closed. So, I mean, aesthetically, if you're into, which I am, if you're into the art house noir feel, it's got all the vibes. I just didn't get to go inside. No, I like it. I mean, I like everything about it. Yes, I'm ready to put things on the internet. The World Wide Web. And George Soros. I'm going to be doing some more voice stuff for that. It never fails. I always get right in the middle of, putting out 6 fires and burying 3 people. I get a call. Hey, you want to be interested in doing summer for us on the voice stuff I'm like, yeah, let me finish, digging myself out, but sure. Let me know when I can.
Candy cigarette?
Really? Where'd you get those? Black market? You can't buy a candy cigarette. I mean, you clearly have bought a candy cigarette, but where? Roundup, where's that?
That's the name of the cigarette.
Well, I know that. Where'd you get it?
Medicine Park.
Really?
Yep.
Those rebels?
Yep.
Rebels with a cause. Speaking of, February's coming up.
Yes, it is.
You know what that means.
Are we doing it?
Are they doing it?
Yes, they are.
Are they? I almost drowned last time. But, let's do it. What do you think? Think we should do it? When is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think that COVID-19 can withstand the cold, cold waters of the Medicine Park.
Well, the frigid temperatures of Antarctica kept a thing on ice until the guys at Outpost 31 decided to thaw it out, right?
Yep.
Anyway, what are we going to do? We're going to... What's the word I'm looking for? We're going to... 3, 2, 1...